All right, welcome to the Quarry Shepherd podcast. This is episode 28. Welcome back to everybody who's been listening. Welcome to all the new listeners. And we have it's not a guest, we have a co-host, Miss Acacia Victory Lap Devatile. Tell me everything I say wrong, correct at one time.
Oh boy. I thought by now you'd have gotten this thing right.
Acacia Victory Devatile from an Acacia Victory Lap.
Good job. Good job.
Wow,
Congratulations.
it's rough. It is rough. So we have a host on board. It's been a long time since I had a co-host. This should be interesting.
Well, boy, we will see.
I listened to you Sunday and you say you're done for the year, so I say I had to drag you back out. You can't just leave people hanging like this.
I realized you will not let me live. I was trying to get a vacation.
Vacation from what? You need to feed these streets. People need content.
Boy, it's true. It's true. But it's just I have so much in mind, and I said, you know what? Let me recalibrate. I want to look at my branding, rebranding. I want to look at my content, and even just my whole style and that kind of thing. Because I mean, yes, I get the compliments and yes, I get the good remarks, that kind of stuff. But there's also, as I say, your biggest competition is yourself, and there are some things that I want to adjust. So I'm gonna give myself some time, revamp, and come for them again.
That's good, man. That's good. Congrats. Yeah, it's been a long stretch, when you look back at how much of it you need that rest and to come back again, yes? So refresh.
25 episodes in what? Wow. 9, 10 weeks and 10 or 12 weeks, yeah.
Congrats on that. That is a milestone. 25 is plenty. And people might underestimate, finding the content and stuff is not the easiest thing to do.
No, it isn't. It's not as easy as I thought it was. No. I expected everything to just kind of flow. But there was some Saturday nights where I was just like, well, all right, so we doing one now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what are you going to talk about?
I kind of figure it out. But I mean, it's been a good experience so far. I'm real grateful for the support and, of course, always for your encouragement and your guidance. I really appreciate it. And looking forward to what the new season will bring.
Really That's good, man. That's good. Like somebody tell me, I have a partner who always tell me, he say, boy, the main thing is consistency. So it's like, do it. Like, yes. I keep looking at the local landscape for podcasts and or content in general, like YouTubers. And you could see the ones who are the most successful or getting the most traction is the ones who just doing it every week. It don't want to be the greatest episode every week or the greatest video or whatever it is.
Yes.
But boy, you show up every Sunday for the last how much ever weeks. That is real value.
Exactly. Exactly.
As I say, it's Trinidad, so they always have something. Like I spent last week and talking more about. Last week was kind of heavy for me, like this whole domestic violence thing, and I mean, not just domestic violence, but it's like it get mixed up with women going missing as well.
Yeah, just violence on the whole. It really. I wouldn't lie. Last week I was heavy. Even in the episode I did, I was like, listen, guys, what are we gonna do differently? Like, how are we gonna change this thing? Because I'm telling you, I'm over it. So what are we gonna do?
Yeah, boys. I think that's a key question. Everybody, at least everybody who concerned.
Yeah,
trying to figure out like what I could do personally, like what should I do as a woman? Why would I be more vigilant? As a man, what do I do? Like it's like the idea of protecting women is such a vague thing. Like I trying to learn more about it and see what, because you're not there at the time them things happening.
Correct. Yeah, but what's funny is that I was saying to some friends tonight that. On the whole, I am accustomed to being heckled on the road, right? Men always have something stupid to say, to be quite honest, and I'm used to it from a child. From being a child to now, it's nothing abnormal to me.
Right.
But knowing what I know now and experiencing the things I've experienced in the last 2 weeks in terms of seeing the murders and the rapes and the women missing and that kind of stuff, it kind of put you on edge.
Right.
So Saturday, I'm walking through town. I'm in a little romper. As I've mentioned before, I am short pants bantam. And I'm walking through Port of Spain, and so let me give a little backstory here.
Mm,
Anybody who's listening and they've grown up in Arima, grown up in the East, short pants is not an anomaly.
mm,
We wear shorts
mm,
right through, right? That's regular things. You go out the road to run an errand for your parents, you know, shorts and a t-shirt or a vest, slippers, or, you know, there's not a dress up scene or whatever. And moving to Port of Spain, or I should say moving back to Port of Spain as an adult, I realized that apparently it's a thing down here.
mm.
People act a role. So going through town on Saturday, people are behaving as if I was in a costume and I didn't get it. And then fellas like, you know, Reds, you know what you're doing.
Oh
And
God.
I'm like,
People still say that thing.
people still say those things.
Oh God.
And I said, you know, what? You know, I set up like a jab. I was ready for him. I
Mm-hmm.
said, what you say? He said, you know what you're doing wearing that pants. I said, what do you mean I know what I'm doing? Now, most men who behave this way have no intention of ever speaking to you. They
No, no,
don't
no. They have
expect you
no
to answer
response.
them.
Once you say that, there's no response coming.
You understand? So another one was in the back of me in Long Circular Mall. He walked all the way outside to me, straight to the car park, and behind me, muttering to himself, muttering, talking, and eventually I turned around and I said, "Could you relax? Could you please relax? It's a short pants. Get over
So
it."
what? Oh, I don't understand. So what he was his? I don't. What are you trying to
You
do? You
know,
trying to say
your short
something about it?
pants, reds, your red best, look at you in our pants, you know, just regular pedestrian BS. And I was just like, dude, oh, gross, grow up, you know,
Yeah,
because
that's
what are we, 15? Do we behave like that when we're 15 and 16 and, you know, we haven't seen a girl, you know, out of foil before? But come on, by now I'm sure you've experienced it. It's a short pants.
with
Grow
like
up.
when you say 15, 16, like I remember when people talk about catcalling, like suiting
Yeah.
women and them kind of thing. Like
Hmm.
when I was a young fella, I didn't know what was the issue with that at all. We used to
Right.
in St. James, like we would go on the street, I think it's Vidal Street. Like most
Hmm.
St. James sect children will walk up that street to go on the main road to get a transport and thing. And we used to
Hmm.
come out, or I walked back from Fatima when I was going to school there and sit down on the block right where St. James Sect girls passing and just soup for like the whole hour or whatever
Oh
children
my
passing.
God.
It's just like, hey, Reds, Darky, you good, best. It's like, we used to just do that for the whole time, 5 days a week. If we had class on a Saturday and Sunday, we doing it too.
My word.
Yeah, that was
It's
just,
funny. I was also saying in this entire conversation, I'm not a big church goer, but I remember going to church with my aunt Sunday once, and there was this visiting pastor. Don't remember his name or anything,
mm-hmm,
you know, don't shoot me. And he mentioned that when men shoot and stuff at you, you know, he said, you know, you could still answer them, still say hello, still say good morning, because that's their language. They don't know any better or they don't know any different.
sorry, wait, who? The pastor is saying this?
The pastor said that he was a very a young
Yeah,
fella, you know, very worldly. Used to be a man of the world, I guess, and he didn't
right.
quite um convert, I guess. And he was saying that, and for a while, I was okay with it. For a while, I was like, you know what, he's right.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know any better, and you know, we really need to be not so judgmental, and they're really just trying to say hello. But you can't be trying to say hello and telling me about my valley deep and all this kind of
Deep Valley
rigmarole.
from time to time.
The, stop it. No.
I think he's right in a sense. If you didn't know any better, but you gotta get to know
Yeah.
better, man. You can't just
Yeah.
stay.
Yeah.
No, the world can't adjust because you know better. Nothing else
Correct.
don't work that way. You know what
Correct.
I mean? If
Exactly.
you as young fellas growing up too, if you get caught slipping in that area because you ain't protecting yourself or your money exposed and a man rob you, the world not that forgiving to say you didn't know no better.
Absolutely.
It was never like that. So it's like, and it's a good thing to see. Like, no, I don't know if young people in school do that. I don't see much of that. I don't see much of nothing these days. But I don't know if people is do a lot of that still. So I'm surprised to hear people
Yeah,
in
man.
town and in the mall and
People
everything.
still do it. Yeah, Henry Street was lit on Saturday. They were overdoing it.
Well,
And annoying.
we have a journey to go. But I saw
We
this
do.
week too, like I was talking about the Ashanti Reed thing last week, and it's so sad, boy, that 18 years old, and
Yeah,
like I
boy.
see the funeral today, and I think I saw you post that everybody needs to feel what they're feeling. Is
Yeah. I felt it. I felt it was important. I mean, I'm not a supporter of trauma porn. I do feel like trauma porn is a thing. I feel like a lot of us, um, we watch it and we share it for the shock factor, but we don't think of the people that they affect.
mm,
But I felt today that you needed to hear the pain of that mother bawling, screaming, and I think I think we spoke about this last week just briefly in terms of nobody asked about the boyfriend who was waiting on her. How this poor boy,
boy,
man, would have been feeling. Can you imagine his guilt?
yeah, for sure, for
Probably
sure, for
thinking I
sure, for
should have
sure.
come up sour and get his girl.
It's gonna be hard
You
for
know,
him for a while. He will need help.
yeah,
He will need help. Like I
yeah,
saw it, I saw the thing going around, but I couldn't watch the video. I was watching it without the sound.
right,
I couldn't take
hmm
that, boy. That was and without sound, it was sad enough because
yeah,
the whole way they did the casket
yeah,
with
yeah.
her pictures.
Her
You know,
face
when
and
young people die,
everything.
is a different kind of funeral, and when you see our parents
It's
at the bury
true.
a child, is a different kind of. And
But
you,
even with this, just you just do expect this. You leave your child, good. I mean,
well,
and you reach 18, right? So you're trusting that listen,
yeah, they're
you've been
going good.
traveling, you know how to handle yourself. We don't have
Hmm.
to worry about these things happening, and then you just don't come home, and then you're found by a river,
Yeah, you
dead.
spend a week or two begging people to see if you see them and spreading anything online. And
Yeah, boy. I don't know. I really hope that there is some reprieve that is going to happen, something that's going to come out good through this. But in
well,
the interim, until that happens, I ain't gonna lie, it makes me very worried, very
yeah,
angry.
yeah, for sure,
Um,
for sure.
you know, I really
Um,
wish we would get it together.
well, Liz, I mean, condolences to her family. That was a hard thing to see. It is a joke what
Absolutely.
I feel in watching it compared to what they would be going through on the ground
Yeah.
there. And I think you're right. Like the boyfriend, so many different people in her life.
hmm
You
hmm
know the if and what if. They must be going through a lot of that. Like, boy, if I'd only drop her myself, or if I went and I meet
Yeah.
her, or just yesterday I was telling her I'll come up and meet her, but then I end up telling her travel. Listen, that playing off in your mind
hmm
ain't gonna be no easy thing, and it's not.
Yeah.
It ain't getting over that today, but I hope that they get the help that they need. I know the services usually kick in kind of quick with those things, so
Yeah. Yeah.
hopefully they get that kind of help. But I saw that one guy is charged on the same day of her funeral,
Yes.
which that's a positive sign at least.
But
So
he's not charged for murder. He's charged for manslaughter
I thought they said it
because
was
he.
murder they charge him for. So
No,
how
I think
manslaughter?
it's manslaughter. Remember, he has not confessed to
Mm.
killing her, and there's no proof.
Oh.
All they have is just the video and him implicating other people, which there is also no proof.
They said
So
they were still looking for two other people, right? Or one person was
well,
released of the
one,
three people,
yeah,
and they're
one was
looking for
released.
one.
Like even all of that, right, Corey? There is the fact that the police or the current coroners or forensics, whomever, would have said, listen, um, this girl's death, like there's so much that we shouldn't even say to you
I remember
because
that.
it's been so gruesome or
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case is. Another friend and I were talking and, she mentioned, it made her feel like, listen, this autopsy may have been inconclusive. Um, and they had to think about all sorts of things. Listen, this criminal minds thing we women do, it really gives us some insight,
Hmm.
unhealthy insights to things. Because she mentioned something which was very plausible.
Right.
This girl could have been killed and not died immediately, could have been left at that river there, expecting her to, recover or whatever the case is. A dog could have passed and see her
Oh,
body. Anything could have happened, anything gruesome, anything out of the way, anything that you would think the worst thing that
yeah,
already
yeah,
happened,
yeah, for sure.
yeah, more worse could have happened. And I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know that charging this man is enough. Shannon Banfield, after all this time,
Remember that?
there's no justice. People still shopping by that place.
Yeah.
Not me though, but people still doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and there is no reprieve. There is no
You know,
reprieve.
the thing is like we in talking to some of the counselors and stuff. One of the things in Trinidad is that we go back to normal.
Yeah,
And
in no
sometimes we
time.
forget that those families, they're not going to go back to normal. Both families,
They're still grieving.
for sure. They never, you lose a child, I don't think you will ever stop grieving.
No.
Yeah, I don't think you will ever stop grieving. That is
I
a
can
rough thing all
imagine. I don't
around.
ever want to imagine that.
Boy, nobody. But
Yeah.
I mean, kudos to the police because at least they have one person, whatever they charge him with, at least he in police custody, and
Yeah,
whether
I
they
would be
find the other guy or
thankful.
not, somebody had to be made to answer for this boy because
Absolutely.
is I don't know if it's you want to call it justice, revenge. Nobody ain't gonna bring back that little girl now, but at least to see, I always hope that if somebody brought to justice as publicly as the case was, and sometimes it takes so long for the justice to come that the name starts to
Yeah.
fade away in the mind of the public by the time
Yeah.
the person found guilty. But I
Correct.
feel like if it could deter whoever is the other, or this dude name is Luciano Quatch, whoever is the next version of that person or monster that come out, or I don't know, is that bringing whoever brought him to that point? You kind of hope that if somebody convicted, that it deter at least one more person. So,
Yeah, from making that kind of mistake.
so one little girl could go in a taxi and reach home. Say it
Yeah,
sounds so odd
as
to say.
expected.
Sounds so odd to say. And it's like is almost a part of our culture that thank God for social media and these things because it exposes a part of Trinidad that we don't like to talk about and we don't like to deal with it because this is just a part of who we are.
Right.
Because I mean, Shannon Banfield is one of the names, but you could call names over the years: women, children, men. They take wherever you are, you disappear. You end up there, and then slowly but surely, you also disappear from the news headlines and the papers. And next time you hear about you is in a year in review or a decade in review or whatever it is. So
or when something as gruesome
exactly,
happens.
you get to be a reference point. Something
That's
else.
crazy to me.
It's
That is
amazing.
to me.
It's amazing. I don't know.
Crazy.
And then I would think that every mother who, when one of these stories breaks, she had to be going back to that place if she ever left it.
Yeah, of course. The thing is as a young person, you don't quite appreciate the fact that you have to be safe, you have to practice better judgment, looking at taxis, whatever the case is. I mean, I remember being super brave when I was younger, and at 17, 18, when I work, and my mother want to be telling me come home 5 o'clock after work. I'm like, girl, what?
Yeah, you want to live.
You understand? I doing a sort of stupidness out here, and I was fortunate. I was very, very fortunate to not end up in any monkey pants. And even now I think about, my son, and I'm preparing him for the world, of course, because let's be fair, he's a man, he has to traverse
he gonna
this
live.
world
He gonna live
differently than I did. And then he has to traverse the world where now, long time the worry was little girls.
Right. Yeah, is anything now? It don't matter.
Yeah, MFs out here sick, they don't care.
Yeah, it don't matter.
You understand?
Like when you talk about growing up and feeling lucky to escape or survive, like I felt the same way. Like I put myself in real situations I didn't need to be in as a young fellow.
Yep.
And people say a lot like the place changed and the place getting worse, but I don't know if it getting worse. I think it just getting exposed.
Yeah, I think it's the same place.
Yeah, again, it just getting on the front page. Or we have more than one front page now. That's compared to
I mean, the media, by the literal sense of the word, we just have so much exposure to everything negative, everything positive, or it's just a lot of information to digest.
Yes, it's overload.
Yes, and they get it all the time, and it's easy to just fall and look at the negative stuff to it. which is again drama porn. It's so easy to just say, oh, this thing happened to the end, and they share it, and then of course algorithms.
Yeah, you can start to see more and more and more. If you
Mm-hmm.
like to, if anytime you watch funeral and you watch domestic, I mean, I could tell you because of the research I doing for this, like, it's everything. It just come into me. You can't control it again. So I just start just going on YouTube and looking for puppies and things.
Yeah.
Looking for
The
little,
puppies, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
some
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing fun. It's too
I don't
much.
get you wrong. I don't
Like
get you wrong.
today again, like in the midst of all this happening and you're trying to figure out how to process all that. You see now a woman 90, well, I mean, we call out 19-year-old a woman. I still calling them
Yes.
children. You know?
Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
19 years old,
Should be
stab her
still
boyfriend,
listening.
rest in peace. I think his name is Stefan or Stephen Ramner, right?
Yeah.
And you know the story? So familiar. Like you say, major hype and those types of situations.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing you see in the article is that his family or friends keep telling him, stay away from the girl. You keep going back there. It's abusive. You know, you understand? They say this is the second time he gets stabbed.
That's, you can imagine that happening to my child.
You could imagine. You could imagine. Young people, boy, it's like, you know.
Well, they're mad, we.
My image of this in my mind is older people frustrated, financial problems, controlling relationship and things. We use that 19-year-old girl. Were
you angry about so good?
you so
I mean, you know what? To be fair, there are things. To be fair to her, there may be things that she's very angry about. Things, abuse, whatever the case is.
I'm sure.
But sis.
Boy, look how you changed your whole life. You're 19 years old. You're 19. Look at, all right, this boy gone. Sad to say. So this is, look forward to it next week again. Is our next one of them Ashanti Riley type funerals. But when you look at her, what your life going to become now? Because when you stab him the first time, guaranteed money. People talk to you. He talk to you. The family talk to you. Your family talk to you. But boy, I mean, like, I feel tell my time Trinidad, if it have 1 million people, we need 1 million therapists, and that's probably one of the things. Because you're right, you know, if you get a chance to look into her history and what she went through, and I mean not defending any perpetrators, but you look at her history, what she went through, or the same guy who would have been the perpetrator, or whoever was the perpetrator with Ashanti Riley. You start to look back at their history and their own trauma and what they went through, and you start to realize is walking time bombs you're wrong.
Exactly. And last week, that's what my episode was about last week. What are we doing to our boys?
Yeah,
right? Boy. Because, I mean, as the mother of a son and a woman, I absolutely understand the premise that everybody has about, you know, being a woman and abuse and all the things that happen to us, especially because I've experienced many of those things. Right? And luckily, due to therapy, just overall, you know, having the share, just refusing to lose and refusing to want to have any of the things that I've experienced conquer me. I have changed my attitude on things. I have done different things. I've chosen to live. Right? That said, as the mother of a son, it would break my heart to see my child be one of these men, these recalcitrant men, these people who we see doing all these deviant things. So what are we doing wrong? What are we doing differently? What can we do differently? Because you know what, it would be unfair to pretend that the generations before us didn't have these things. They did. They had a lot. They had a lot of it.
Yeah.
We can't pretend that it didn't exist.
To me, social media is just a spotlight. Yes, I think all these things are firmly a part of our culture. And I was saying, I think I talked about it in the last episode too. I have another counselor to bring on to talk about. She speaks about domestic violence, with a passion that is sometimes like you just have to listen. There's not much I could say when you talk to her, but something else has been moving. And she was talking about a situation with a young boy who was raised by his mother. A grown man now, right? She said he speaks openly about himself being an abuser, abusing women.
Wow.
And recovered and everything. He passed that now and got the help that he need. But it's good that he speaks about it. I don't think we should condemn when somebody like that. You could learn a lot from that might help other people, men and women, or whoever, abuser and perpetrator, or perpetrator and victim.
And victim, yeah.
And he was saying that when he grew up, when he was small, his mother was very abusive and used to embarrass him and call him a little faggot. And if he crying, and he said the rage that he grew up with for his mother. He said he couldn't do his mother anything. She was physically bigger and stronger than him and everything. So I guess it took time for him to get, while you're doing it, you're probably not that conscious of it, but you're very conscious of the fact now that what he was doing was getting back at his mother.
Yeah.
And boy, God, I mean, you talk about a cycle of abuse. I mean, how
I mean, that's... this may not be a popular opinion, and I mean, I really don't care for it to be one. But a lot of us women, as mothers, we're shit. We're not great mothers. Sorry, I could cuss on your podcast.
Yeah, man, you cuss, man.
Okay, go ahead. We really aren't good mothers. We do a lot of stupid things for men, for relationships, for money, or whatever the case is, or just simply because we didn't know any better. And we're awful.
I feel plenty it is that too, you know.
At
Because
being
when you talk
parents.
about a cycle, like sometimes it takes a long time for you to realize, or at least for me, I was a real grown man when I realized my father was a little fellow when he had me. My father was 21 years old when I was born.
Right. Yeah.
So he trying to figure life out.
Yeah.
He had two, but he was 21
What
when
do
he
you
had me, and by the time he reached 22, he had two. 2 by 2 women.
Oh boy.
When you're young, though, you can't understand. I mean, maybe some children can understand. These little children now bright, but when I was small, I just figuring myself out. So you don't know what it is. So it's like, as a society, that's where we need the counselors, the help, the community, and even now, when you look at how we, like you grew up in Arima, I grew up in St. James. Both of us moved to whole different parts of the country.
Yeah.
I might know my neighbors too good. I ain't too friendly with them. It's so much. So we kind of lost the community in raising the children.
Yeah.
So
but that is true. That particular thing is really true. I mean, I'm in a neighborhood that I grew up in. And when I say grew up in, so my mother's father's from Araval, and this is where I spent all my vacation time. So I grew up in Arima. I went to school in the east, but every Easter and July, August, I'd be here. And this is a place I grew up. I spent time with a lot of people, and still I don't quite feel safe in my neighborhood, even though these are people I'm supposed to know.
Right. Yeah.
Just based on all the other stupidness that we do over time, the way we change. There are just so many considerations, and man, out here, scary boy.
Well, I don't know anybody who could say man, woman, or beast. I don't know who is feel real safe in Trinidad.
I don't know,
boy. I would love to reach a point where we in a country where these things is not concerns, but it's real concerns. But I mean, as you're talking about safety, I had to ask you about this.
What's that?
Your personal safety. How much times you walk with FLIT? Gary Griffith say you walking with FLIT and so on to spray people. Do you walk with FLIT in your bag?
I hope Gary is not listening to this. I hope Gary is not listening because I know he always want to be arresting people for nothing and thing, right? And I just know about our life. I have a child to sleep out, but
I anytime he come for me, you going down. I'm not going down by myself.
So I have had pepper spray. Somebody gave it to me as a gift after I was robbed in 2015.
I remember some of that robbery thing, yeah.
Big
on thing or pepper spray?
Pepper spray. I got it here. Somebody gave it to me as a gift.
Right.
I still have it. I probably need to refresh it, of course, because I've had it for some time. I also have a pen knife in my bag. I'm not no, muxy pen knife.
Right.
It's very bad. I'm just saying. And yeah.
So this just in case.
Just in case, if ever I am going to use it, there would be no hesitation from me. I once hit a man with God, that's so shame. I once hit a man with my umbrella on the road just because he was walking too close to me. It was soon after my robbery.
Oh, God.
I need to stop calling it my robbery, but it was soon after the
Yeah.
robbery.
So,
And it was really, I had some real PTSD. It was bad. And he was walking a little too close and running up to me. It was about to rain. And that didn't occur to me at the point that he was trying to get to the rain. I was just like, why you walking so close to me? He not gonna rob me today.
so
And
he had no bad intention.
well, I don't know who would know. I don't know.
So when he hits me,
He just said, Reds, where's that one?
he must used to tell people about upset. He's like,
I
boy, I'm
am
mad,
sure
don't
he
man if me.
does. I am sure he does.
When he see you now, he must used to still tell people you're mad. He still look the mad thing
Listen,
with me, the umbrella.
this mad girl just beat me with umbrella. But I would lie. I was so scared, right?
Yeah.
I was so scared, and he was just too close for comfort, walking up on me real close, and I wasn't having it. So I hit him with the umbrella. And,
So you didn't have
once
the
I
pepper spray then,
realized
thank God. You did not
I
know.
didn't, I know I went to lunch and I didn't have it on.
It's a good thing.
Can
It's a
you imagine?
it's a good thing, yeah. If you had that bop in your bag, you spray that man down.
Suppose I had sprayed this man down on a real boy.
Boy, that would be
Oh
something
my
else.
gosh.
Because I guess, I mean, at the end, you kind of never know. Because if it was me and I come into rob you and you spray me, I would have said, well, I wasn't going to happen, family. Was that one?
Exactly.
But
So you never know.
I know how you're feeling. I know how you feel. There was one
I
time.
mean, now I feel a little guilty, but back then I didn't care. I went back in my
You know,
office,
if you had
sat on my
PTSD,
desk,
you
and
have
like,
it, you have it, you have it, you have it.
yeah,
If you
I
just went through
cried.
that hard.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. It took me a year and a half of therapy to deal with myself. Boy, I was on medication, all kind of things for PTSD. Me, not me again.
Well, the man is a good one too because an ignorant fella that could have end bad. That
To
could
be
have end
fair,
right.
it was about to rain. It really did. It was beginning to come down, and fella was just trying to go to the rain. Poor guy. He really was just trying to go to the rain. In
Like,
retrospect.
I remember, I think I would have gone, that would have been one of my first times going to Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear all these stories about crime and how bad the place is. And here, it's no different from here. It's the same thing
Of
like here.
course.
But
Yeah.
you hear enough about it where you're frightened. And
Right.
I walking through New Kingston in the night. They're safe. You're in the hotel zone. Nobody doing you nothing there.
Right.
And this guy was crossing the street. But I was conscious of him from the time I see crossing the street heading in my direction. So we alone on the street.
Right.
And kind of on guard because he crossing coming towards my side of the pavement, and that man start. When you do a little quick jog,
Mm-hmm.
but he do that jog, and I ain't know one damn piece of karate, but I went to karate stance once. I was going to swing one kick at that man's face because he's short and the pavement high. I say going, and the guy really was just coming out the road because a car swing. So he see the car lights and just pick up a jog to come up on the pavement.
Oh no.
I end up talking to him because I was like, "My boy, don't run up on me." What you know what I mean? He's like, "Where you from?" I could have I'd get locked up so fast that he's like, "Nah, you man say you're safe here." He's like, "Nothing going on here."
Yeah, but it does always easy for people to say, but when I experience things, it's like, yo,
Yeah, if you
woof.
went through it, is a different story.
Yeah,
So
when
you're for making bop and flit and these things legal for women to carry around. What is your stance?
I
You're for
am
it?
for making pepper spray legal. I don't want to hear it, but no bop and no flit. Right? Ease me up with that nonsense.
Can't flit nobody.
No. What am I supposed to do? What, spray it, flit in a smaller bottle?
Yeah,
Who
spray
gonna
a
walk
flit.
around
No,
with
just
a thing
walk
up?
with the whole flit. Just walk with the whole flit. You
Right.
could
So I
just
must
spray all
have
these roaches in these streets.
no self. I am going to be definitely a target because people want to know what I do and walk around with this house and land. What that making it according to Nisha, that making any sense?
Well, hey, swing with the umbrella, spray them with flit is not a bad combination. You get them out.
That's no. I don't have all that upper body strength. Imagine me wrestling this. You know much thing I have in my bag already? I'm put bop in it too.
Hey, every woman in Trinidad and Tobago could fit bop in the bag. All these walk with some bag, it could put all household products
Nah,
could go
man. Oh
inside it.
God, bags be heavy. I'm not putting no FLIT in my bag. Sorry. The thing about it is, I hear the comment that you're gonna make it easier for them to use the same thing on us. But hear what now?
Oh, that's what people saying?
Yeah,
Somebody
they're
could take
gonna
it
they're
from you and
gonna
use it on you?
yeah, they're gonna
No,
people if
but
you
I
make it
mean,
legal, then they're gonna use it on other people. But they're not using other illegal things on
this
people
is what I mean.
already.
I don't understand.
So where's the point?
Yeah, I don't understand that. That ain't making much sense. Because now,
I
if two
find
all you unarmed, there's only one person winning that fight right now.
exactly, and let's also. I find that people who are generally safe, those seem to have the same logic of the people who are unsafe.
I suppose.
You understand? I mean, I get my prime minister trying to make a point about whatever, but bro, you and I do live in the same reality. We
What was
do.
his take on it?
He didn't think that, we should do the pepper spray thing. He thinks that we should, you
Hmm.
know, I don't know what he thinks. Other than we shouldn't do it, he doesn't think we should make it legal.
I don't
To
know.
be quite fair, I felt like his statement left a lot to be desired. I
Mm-hmm.
would have loved a more definitive statement, especially talking about how negative this entire thing is, how awful it is, how it needs to be stopped, and giving an overall reprimand for the things that are happening. I don't want to hear nothing about you don't feel I should have pepper spray. Like you have bodyguards. Like you could say what you want
Yeah,
to
I
me from
mean,
now
yeah,
to never really. But
politicians have a level of hubris, all of them, because they're not.
yeah,
Our partner philosophy is they shouldn't have no election. They should just play slack in, slack out. Put PNM for
well,
5 years, put UNC for 5 years, so that they go
oh
back to
gosh,
driving your
no,
own
no, no,
car.
no, no. Relax,
Yeah.
relax, relax, relax. Let's
You don't
not
want to Arnold
lose our
Roberts
heads
up in
here.
here. You want to get a little KPB back in the
Let's
scene.
not lose our heads here.
Get them
Right?
fellas back in. Because every now and
No,
again,
thank you.
Stuart Young need to come off the bus route, drive on the highway, see where the traffic really is. People
Listen,
is be a little too safe in their palaces.
there are people. You know what? I would say that, but not for everybody because Colin Bear.
Mm.
Sorry, what did I say? Colin Imbert.
Yeah, in but yes.
Imbert out here goes to Massey like everybody else in his short pants.
Really?
And yeah, Imbert has been a grocery regular. And he roves through Maraval pretty regular. And
And if
I
I
mean,
had to
I think
call
a lot of
anybody out of
people,
touch, I would have said he's the king out of
I
touch.
think that is a huge misconception.
Really? Who
It
knew?
really is.
Who knew?
It is a huge misconception because there's sometimes evenings, I mean, not so much during COVID, of course,
Mm.
but evenings I coming home from work and I decided to duck in the grocery and his call mini 3/4, you know, buying up whatever the heck he is be buying up. And I'm like, why you here?
Yeah, belly boy. If I was him here showing my face, not the amount. I don't think anybody's
You
get
know,
more hate than Coleman, but
Holm and Franklin can be in Massimoka regular,
okay.
shopping
Who knew?
regular.
Who knew?
So I always look at that and I give him kudos for it because you know what, considering the overall
Yeah,
perception of him,
I wasn't showing my face.
yeah,
Somebody that'll make them groceries for me, not me. That's good.
yeah,
I need
he's
more of that,
out
you know.
out and about to the market bag and thing.
That is good. And that's a good sign. Like you need to be
Yeah,
around people more because I think you're right. Like it's easy to say that it's easy to assume people safe enough
yeah,
if
for sure.
if your feet not on the ground. And you know, when you talk about the prime minister, if you add up all his comments about when these situations come around,
Hmm.
it don't really ring too well to me, you know.
No.
Because the golf course thing
Hmm.
was iffy. What was it he
Yes.
say that women like a golf
Something
course
but
on
well groomed,
well
and I'm
groomed and
just
manicured. And it
now
didn't really sound so right.
some things didn't I didn't really make a big deal about.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's because over time, especially when you hang out with men or you grew up around men, whatever the case is, there's certain comments you're kind of used to.
Mm-hmm.
And not saying that they're right or anything, but it no longer brings any point of discomfort for you,
Yeah, you just get
right?
used to it. You're numb to it or
Yeah,
something.
it's like it's whatever, right? As I was mentioning before, I'm accustomed to men heckling me in the street.
Yeah.
So when a man says something stupid, I just roll my eyes. Sometimes I laugh because I'm like, please, how original, right? So when you hear him say certain things, you realize, listen, this is a cultural thing. This is not gonna change. He's not gonna suddenly become this enlightened human just because people are talking about it. The reality is that there has to be a lot of change generationally.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
think he have no ill intent. It's just the way
yeah,
I think that about Rowley generally. It's
yeah, yeah.
sometimes it's just the way he say things. Like he have a way up
He's
like
an
he
abusive
sometimes when he's
kind of
saying
guy.
things he's not exactly a lot of the things he's saying sometimes need to be said, but it's
Yeah,
how he say it, boy. Because there was one time his response was women need to be careful about their choice in men. No,
he didn't lie though.
that's not something you can disagree with. You can't
Yeah,
disagree with that.
yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
Everybody needs to make better choices in
That's
life.
right.
But
That's true.
is the timing of his statement and the way he said, I think
Yeah.
you know what spoilers as Trinis? You see Eric Williams, that's where he thinks that downfall start. Can you see that father of the nation thing? Me, I don't know father. No, none of them is my father. Kamala is my father. Manning is my father. They need to
Correct.
calm down with this father of the nation thing. It
I
just
think too we get real tied up with oratory skills. I mean, Manning was
yeah,
excellent. He
he
was
was next
exceptional
level.
at that.
Mm-hmm.
So too was Basio Pandey,
Yeah,
even
Pandy was
when
there too.
he was nasty in his youth sometimes. And when I say nasty, like I was a child, I was in school
Mm-hmm.
hearing him talk back then. Politics has a morality of its own.
Yeah, yeah,
When the mothers of the nation start to bawl because of
yeah.
the crime and da 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 and all, still there was a style, there was a particular style and air to
Mm-hmm.
everything that they said that gave, they meant to evoke emotion with the things and the style of their words. Um, Rolling about our life. He don't care about that.
No, 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 no. Yeah.
Rowley not trying to inspire no nothing, you know. He is not trying to invoke any inspiration or nothing like that. He just telling you all as it is. And
Yeah, and maybe we need some of that, but I think
yeah,
you're right. Like Manning and Pandey used to say, they used to get the scolding kind of vibe too, but they
yeah,
used to put the arm around you from time to time. I think
yeah,
Rowley's missed the arm around you part.
yeah. He's not trying to put no armor on nobody.
No, no, no,
He's
no, 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 no. He's not
no,
a cuddler at all.
yeah, he's not a cuddler.
So he
He's
said
not a
no to the pepper. Well, I guess he didn't say no. But he didn't support the pepper spray thing.
yeah, he don't want a part of that, and I understand where they're coming from, but I think they're wrong.
But let me ask you this: how far would you take it in terms of personal protection? Like, you ever sort of applying for a firearm and that kind of thing?
Because I have a child in my house, I won't.
Mm-hmm.
When that thing had happened with me, I had two friends offer me pieces
Right.
illegally, of course.
Nice.
Um,
The best kind.
apparently, and uh, I didn't. I was like, what? No thanks. No, 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 no.
Mm.
Is not something that I think I can comfortably do. Probably not if unless I go get trained,
Yeah, they're
and
safe too. You should.
applying for FUL may not make sense
Mm-hmm.
to me. But I think gun training is probably something we should do nationally.
Yeah.
Although you don't want everybody to be trained because I don't know if you saw this video of the robbery in it could have been East or South Trinidad.
No,
Did
I
you
didn't
see
see.
the video?
Mm-mm.
There was a video of a
Oh
robbery
yeah,
or
boy, in a little
attempted
pool,
robbery.
like a bar.
Yeah, in the little bar. And I mean,
Everybody had
my
a gun in that
boy.
video.
Yeah, sir, that could not have been so. That was the Wild Wild West.
Why? I say, but what is
um,
going on?
I watch Uncle clearly, who he is clearly very trained.
Mm-hmm.
He's go to the range every week or
Yeah, yeah,
something
yeah. He take his
because
time, boy.
he observed the situation,
Mm-hmm.
put his bear down,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and shot that I was like, all right.
Like from the time I see the video, that was the first thing I noticed. I noticed when he put
Yeah,
on the bear and he kind of gets his hand ready.
yeah,
And you
Yeah.
realize that man didn't hesitate. From that point, once he get the drop on the guy, that man take out the gun
That was
and
it.
never stop firing. And I was trying
Yeah.
to figure out if other people was firing at them too. Like if everybody, all the partners had guns too. It's like, well,
Yeah.
are they rob the
Was I
police
think
mess hall or something? Or what they trying to rob?
exactly. I thought that to myself too. I said, but everybody in there
It's like
loaded. Well,
everybody
I mean, it was
busting.
like two of them. I think it was two or three of them.
Mhm.
But that specific guy, the way he handled that, I was like, yeah, all
Yeah, but
right,
he was.
uncle.
There was another one in South too, an older fella. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They come and rob his bar. He was the owner of the bar.
Right.
And he calmly wait for them to, he gave them everything. And as they turned their back and started to run out, that man calmly take out the gun and start squeezing.
Yeah.
Right? It makes you wonder because like I saw Paul now who's come out and say that even for pepper spray, people need training. And from time I see it, I say, well, I know he offering the training. That looking like a PR move. But I think he
Yeah.
right because, you know, pepper
Yeah.
spray, if you I remember being somewhere before. It wasn't a threatening situation or not, but somebody had pepper spray back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
They used to call it something else back then too, you know, before pepper spray. But he sprayed the thing. And listen, when it's all about burn, that thing
Everybody.
is from
Yeah.
hell. Everybody eyes was
Yeah.
burning. So I suppose
Mm-hmm.
you had to know how to use it, how to point and shoot, what to do if it
Yeah.
gets on you. Because if it's close contact and you spray a
Mm-hmm.
guy
Mm-hmm.
or some attacker, it's gonna get on you. So I don't know
But
what
that's
to
the
do, but
thing, yeah. It may also just serve as a deterrent.
I guess.
You may just pull that out and do this like, nah,
Yeah, I
you
guess.
know,
Yeah. But
you
also
don't
that is
know.
why FLIT go work too in Acacia. If you take out FLIT and you just say pepper spray when you say you spray it, it got the same effect, you know, man go frightened and run.
Sorry, can you see my face?
Try it. Try it. Don't knock it till you try it.
Stop it. No. Okay?
Give it a shot.
No.
But
Right? You
if
stay
the
in fit in your house regular, nothing happening. Mosquitoes not even,
you
not even
mosquito in
that.
him body,
The
nobody.
mosquitoes up here trained with the Taliban now. What you
Yeah,
telling me?
for sure. But it's like with the firearm now, if you apply, I don't know what's the regulation. I'll probably find it out if it was the regulation. If you, because there should be something in place saying that if you have a license to maintain it, you have to go on the range X times per year, you must shoot X time. And they're like like people who are firearm owners, real passionate about their firearms. So when they hear you
Yeah.
say you have a child and you don't have one, they're going to say, well, you should have one and teach
Right.
the child how to shoot. But I have a funny feeling about weapons, but I always felt like I remember when you now start driving, 18, 19, older fellas in the area still you must keep a little cutlass below your seat, you know, keep your little puya. I never do that because I always feel it will attract
Yeah, badness.
energy. Exactly.
Yeah. I understand what you
So
mean.
now, I mean, as the family and thing, I be considering doing the FUL and getting you know, but boy, I can't help but think it might attract.
Yeah, you might bring the wrong energy. I understand what you mean.
And boy, the more I talk to people, the more I feel like I should apply because I have a fella here. He's do plumbing, but he has big contracts, so he really coming here
Right.
to help me out.
Right.
And one night he was here. I think I just get my dog, but I don't have a dog like you. I have a little puppy. If somebody pass, they could take him. He's given no resistance. Everybody's his friend. So he come and see the dog and thing, and I was telling him, I said, no, but I want to get a bigger dog too for the yard, you know, a dog that could protect, protect the household.
Right.
And he said, Corey, I ain't going through all that, no, I'm a FUL. I said, okay. I didn't, that come out of the blue to me, like, where that come from.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you need to take that seriously and apply. He's like, I have forms in my car. You want to get a form one time? I said, what going on with you? Why are you walking around with a form? What's happening? What going on in your life? And like
he must have been through some stuff.
I don't know. But when you talk to him, he's real serious about it because he's telling me that every time he come by me, while he doing my little plumbing work, he have his firearm on him. So it's like, but why you using that when you're here for? Why you keep it in your car if you're doing
you
work?
can't just shoot in your house.
I don't know if it's me planning to spray up at some point. About that I started check and see if I owe him any money or if I pay him for the jobs he doing. But his point is, okay, suppose we in the back here, we taking water tank and them thing. He said, suppose somebody run in your house now. How I will feel if my firearm in the car and something happened to me and you and your wife and your child and you know my firearm in the car, I can't do nothing, I'm helpless. So he's basically saying like, home by him, if he gonna throw the garbage, he walks with it every single time. And he said he never had to use it. He said he had to draw maybe 2 or 3 times since he had it, but never had to discharge or anything like that. So he's it making me start to be a little more conscious now.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that if anything go down, is a fist fight I looking for.
Yeah.
And if you pull out anything other than fist, I know I would do that. I'd talk my way out of it. I know it's the situation. So
Yeah, I hope. Yeah. I mean, you know what the thing is that the reality is I don't want to think about it most days. You know? But yeah, should the unfortunate circumstance come, I would hope that me screaming and bawling is enough. Because, you know, I've been there, right?
yeah,
I've
exactly.
been
Yeah.
there twice.
Mm-hmm.
And
How twice?
bawling.
I only know once.
That same year
Mm-hmm.
that I had the robbery, I need to stop saying I had the robbery.
Yeah.
But that same year, that same year I was robbed. I was also assaulted in my yard about 4 months previous to that. Uh, Coming home at night, after about 3 o'clock, went to dinner with a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
It was Valentine's Day, so
Right.
it was the 14th. It happened. Parked my car in the driveway to the house, but not in the yard. Right? We lived at a cul-de-sac, and my house was on the side. My apartment was on the side. Park my car in the driveway because nobody leaves or goes anywhere that hour in the morning or whatever. And start to walk inside and realize I forgot my keys in the car.
Right.
Got back to the car to get my keys, and I saw this man looking into the car. Now the thing is, I passed before and I saw him, but when I saw him that hour in the morning, he had a knapsack on his back, hat on his head, glasses, looked kind of elderly, and I was like, oh, he must be a laborer. I didn't even think anything of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I said,
3
he
o'clock
must
in
be
the
going to
morning,
work.
labor.
Thinking he might be working late, he might be going to work early or whatever the case is. I mean, I
Right.
have uncles who do construction, that kind of thing. They leave at ungodly hours in the morning, depending on where they're going and that kind of thing.
Right.
Honestly, it did not remotely
Yeah,
occur to
you
me that
study
this
now.
man, yeah, maybe up to ill will. And then, so I got to the car, and I didn't even open the gate yet. I lie. I opened the gate, but I didn't go out to the car. As
Mm-hmm.
I opened the gate, he was there looking in my car. He saw me, and of course, I pushed back the gate immediately because he made me jump. I jumped,
Right.
and I got scared. I was like, "Well, who's this man?" And he pushed back the car. He pushed back the gate, and he came toward me, and he said, "Hush your mouth, or I'll go kill you," and held on to me. And um, he said that, and at the beginning, I was quiet,
Mm-hmm.
but he held on to me and was pushing me towards my boyfriend at the time. His other car was in the garage area,
Right.
and he was pushing me towards the other car, holding on to me really tight. And I realized, well, you're both hands holding me,
Yeah,
so
no weapon.
you have nothing in your hand. So I started to bawl and I started to scream and fight with him. And this bitch of a man,
Mm-hmm.
um, I got a lot of like bruises and stuff, like on my neck, on my torso, that kind of stuff. He hit me a little bit, and we scuffle. I can't even say scuffle because he's bigger than me, but I
Right.
wasn't
Yeah.
giving up.
Yeah. Get off it.
And um, eventually I started to scream, and my landlord lives upstairs,
Mm-hmm.
and I screamed enough where he looked outside and said, "Well, what the hell going on?" And he saw me, and this man hesitated, Corey. This fella run when he see people wake up.
But what you
He
want to do?
he had to think about it, like, do I leave her alone or do I go? Like, he had a moment.
He's one of them
He
coward
was like,
men.
hmm. The man hesitated. He hesitated. He was not sure of what it is he wanted to do, which baffled me, of course,
He
because
coward
I
like
was
hell.
like,
There's some coward man.
dude,
He was in shock when he see people come out. He's an opportunist.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, definitely he was an opportunist. And so he did that, and that's how I went back inside. And that's how I initially first got my first bout of PTSD. And that was tough to deal with. And then a few months later, we home in our house, wake up in the morning, and this man in our bedroom. And you know what's funny is at that time, my boyfriend and we were breaking up,
Right.
and I was actually sleeping in a separate bedroom. And that night, I happened to go into that room that he sleeps in because he had the AC in there. And
Mm-hmm.
my son wanted to sleep with the AC. So I put my son to sleep and I fell asleep on the bed.
Right.
And then he came inside and slept next to us. And, you know, I shudder to think, had I
God
gone to
bless.
sleep in the other room
Yeah, what
and
would
this man
happen?
had got into
So
the
what
house,
happened?
what the
He
hell would have
break in the
happened?
house and just end up in the bedroom?
Listen, the man breaking the house, Corey, he drank juice.
What?
He ate food that was in the fridge. He went through the bookcase, went through all the cards and notes and books and took out money and those kinds of things. Because, like when your grandparents send money, like my grandmother used to send little small change, $10 and stuff for
Yeah,
my
for
son.
son, right?
He went through, he took all of those things. He packed up the man's laptop. He took like a knapsack of shoes, laptop, tablet, whatever. Then he came into the bedroom. Um, he took uh money. He took, well, I don't have any sort of jewelry really, so he took like the tablet. He was like, "What's the password for the tablet?"
So wait, what? He have
And
a gun or something?
he had a knife. He
Oh,
had a
good.
knife,
Mm-hmm.
and I just told my boyfriend, I was
Yeah,
like,
don't fight him.
please don't, because my son was on the bed,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and all I
God
said
bless.
is, whatever all they do, next
Yeah,
thing all this stuff will land
of
somebody,
course. You don't know.
not my child. So
Mm-hmm.
he did that, and he took things, and luckily my phone was actually under my pillow. All the time we in a relationship, and he vexed. Well, I always had a phone with you. Think, think, think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the phone was how I was able to call the police. It was the only thing he did not get.
Wow.
It was bad, and then he did some other things. It was an awful experience, man.
Pretty much.
Awful, awful. Well, we ended up finding him and that kind of stuff a couple of days later.
Mm-hmm.
And when we finally did not even the trial, this was just the basic hearing. That basic hearing happened. I don't want to lie. What year are we in? 2020? It happened in 2018 or
Wow.
2019. It happened in 2019. It took almost 5 years.
Oh, so this would have happened since 2014, 15.
Yeah,
Wow.
2014 it happened.
Yeah, same thing we now
And
talk about, when it takes so long to bring somebody to try, you don't even want to be there.
you don't want to be there. You don't want to be there. But you know what happened? When the first time I saw that man since I identified him via the ID parade,
Mm-hmm.
they like, even after a while, you start to doubt yourself, was this really the guy? Look how long this thing taking, what's going on?
Right.
Suppose they make a mistake, because you don't wanna put anybody in that kind of trouble, right? Who
Mm-hmm.
don't deserve it.
Right.
Corey, that man walk up that stairs in that courthouse, and it my blood went cold.
Yeah,
I,
go
I
no.
didn't even need somebody to tell me
Yeah,
that
for
was him.
sure. For sure.
I immediately made him out, and I felt sick, 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 sick to my stomach. And then, had the hearing and that kind of stuff. And this, the his attorney, trying to badger me in some kind of way. And I'm like, sis,
A woman.
um, get it together. Even the judge was like, ma'am, I'm not sure what this, she was telling me essentially about her attitude, like, what is all of this about? This is the victim. Like, she
Mm-hmm.
didn't do anything wrong. you speak to her properly.
Right.
And she started to come at me. I kind of left, but it was what it was. But we don't even have a trial date.
Up
You
to
know what
now?
I mean? No, that wasn't a trial. That was a hearing. That was
Right.
just to
So
determine whether or not he should be tried.
this place is something else, yes?
You telling me?
This place is
So
something else.
at this point, this man would have already. I mean, he was out on bail initially, but I don't know what he would have served otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Even in my mind, it's like, does he even deserve 5 to 10 years of this up and down in court? I mean, I think he deserves a lot more than that, but just
Yeah,
the
what do you
whole
mean? Yeah.
inconvenience of it, I don't want to think of myself as a nasty person. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So, um, I have to think of being a person and how this affects this person. Um,
Well, yeah, that's when you get too much time for you to be thinking of all that. Is just because too much time passed. Because I think,
yeah,
sometimes you go through something, you yourself want to move past that. I wouldn't want to go back to the thing and
yeah,
to tell
for
you nothing.
sure.
I don't pass that on whatever.
Yeah,
You
I don't
heat
want to
on
deal
out
with
of
this
my
no more.
system. Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't want to deal with this anymore, and it just keeps coming up over and over again. I
Hmm.
mean, we definitely need to do something about the justice system because, as it stands, there is no justice.
Yeah, I mean, they say justice delayed is justice denied, and all these are the reasons why they
Absolutely.
say that. Because why you had to deal with this 5 years? You're a whole different person now. Your son is a whole
Correct.
different person.
Correct.
Even that
I don't want to
dude
have to
is a
deal with that.
different person. They're like, we going through all this for?
Correct. Correct.
And
I mean, it
that's
was rough.
mm-hmm. Go ahead.
No, no, no. That's it. It was rough. That's all.
Yeah. That's something else. And those are the scenarios I was be thinking about when you think of this FUL and having a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I'm seriously considering it now because I
Mm-hmm.
guess the law of attraction is a real thing to me, and it just started come
Yeah.
from too many different directions. And that plumber was the most random thing.
Yeah.
After a weekend before that, a partner of mine who had recently got his was
Mm-hmm.
telling me like, Corey, no, you had to take it seriously and everything. And then this dude, and since then I still had the form there. I wouldn't follow the damn form because a part of it for me is okay. Look at that scenario. And let's assume something like that happened here, God forbid, right?
Right.
And whatever it is you take and all those types of things, everybody's still alive when anything done and traumatic and everything, and we get therapy and we move on.
Mm-hmm.
But I always wonder because my thing is this: if I have it, I'm going to use it. And if you come in my
Yeah.
house, I'm not going to ask too much questions and try to figure out if you come in here and if it's me alone home, you have a better chance
Yeah.
than if
Yeah.
Stacy and Zachary home. And
Agreed.
then, but I know myself well enough because then my life changed too. I'm
Yes.
protecting myself and my family and my property and them thing. And the property I don't care
Mm-hmm.
about, to be honest. But my family and myself and all, less things, more
Yeah.
them. But if I was to, you coming in by me, you eat, drinking up my juice, you think no, suppose I
I
shoot you
was
now, you
so
dead.
mad. Eh?
Listen, so I know I have blood on my hands. You could say what you want. The
Yeah.
court is where it is, justice is where it is. You are to sleep in the night by yourself.
Yeah.
And when I
Yeah.
close my eye, I remember in your
You
face
see in this. Yeah.
and then I go, the same thing you saying about you started worrying now if it fair for him to go through that. Imagine now you kill this man and I had to study you are children,
Mm-hmm.
your child mother. I go end up trying to see about your children. I know myself well enough. I can call
Yeah.
your child mother and
Yeah.
say, "Girl, what your man breaking by me and thing," but the child shouldn't.
The
So
child shouldn't suffer
yes,
as a result of the father.
boy,
Yeah.
listen.
You start thinking. I mean, is a light is a light to still think with some humanity. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
It's not
agree.
a bad thing. It's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, the way the world is evolving, or the way the world has always been, self-preservation is your first instinct.
Yeah.
This is why we breathe, right?
Mm.
At some point, you have to be able to defend yourself. You have to be able to stand up for yourself. And I mean, I would be scared about a gun being in my house, honestly, because I don't know what could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, like mistakes and them kind of thing. I mean,
yeah, you never
yeah.
know. But
Even
at this,
firearm owners is tell you how unlikely that is too.
Well, of course.
Yeah,
To
they say the
be
training
fair,
and thing,
they're
you know.
waving the banner, right?
Yeah, exactly. I suppose, yeah. Them trying to
They're not
get you.
gonna tell you anything wrong with it. They're
Them
not
is like,
gonna
nah,
say, listen,
not. And this
no.
man, the same plumber guy, I think, and I say, boy, if I had this thing, I clumsy next time I drop it. And he
Mm-hmm,
handed me
mm-hmm.
he fire. Now he's like, boy, throw this up in here. I said, what, me? I said, not me, papi, not me. I holding
He
there
looks
and
like a happy
frightened
boy.
already. And
He
he
really
say he done
excited for
going for a
that job.
next license for a shotgun now. I said, but what kind of war you preparing for? What kind of what's going on?
Do be proper.
That is the thing, but and you know that like all these things easy to say how you feel and everything after because the
Yeah,
scenario we talking about is if the man come in with a knife and he comes to drink juice, but if the man
yeah.
come with a gun, the hell
Correct.
am
I
I to
mean,
do?
correct.
And you know these man in Trinidad, they make they ain't just coming for your things. You know
Yeah,
this, so
yeah, yeah. They're not.
but
That's the truth.
and then a fool like me now had to study. Every bad drive I get, I go and put some shots in somebody bonnet somewhere. They go lock me up. You know.
Please,
I just, I just,
please, please no.
we
Okay.
think ping, ping, ping. The last time you cut me off in a lane anyway. Just
Is that the song wang wang that you just tried to connect?
100% I pushing. Wait, listen, don't give me no. If I have a gun, I spraying up people who park bad. I shooting
Oh
people
my
tire. That's all I do in target practice
God.
for.
I cannot with you.
So when you see
Listen.
home here when you park in front of my gate, that is it. Your tires gone. You have to go and buy tires.
Oh my goodness. You do know that it is not illegal for people to park in front of your gate, right?
No, but it's
For all
illegal
these
for me
people
to
who like
use
to
a legal
behave
firearm.
crazy. Sir, okay. You know what? I you do your one now. I will visit you.
Yeah, police partner tell me that
Absolutely.
time to it have no such thing as a warning shot because that is me too, you know. I shooting up in the air and thing, you know. Anytime you see you tackle me bad in the football, you just bust two in the air, pow pow.
Right. Okay. Okay. So
Just
you
in
know with your
case.
fantasies. Okay. Anyway.
So listen, another thing come up this week, right? I was
Yes.
looking at this thing with you saw the story with Yvee Clarke?
Yeah, boy.
I saw
That's
the most random, like I guess her name's so unique. Like I saw it come up and I remember,
yes.
I know she was somebody. She
Yes.
was something, and then I remember she was Miss what World or Universe, Miss Trinidad at some point, right?
One of those. One of
Yeah,
those. Yeah.
and boy, this girl is. It was one of the more awkward things because I guess, well, for people who didn't know, the bailiffs came by her. She has a boutique,
Mm-hmm.
and they came. I guess they just leaned on the property, so they were moving. They came to take possessions
Yes.
to cover a loan that she would have gotten for. I think it was
Mm-hmm.
63,000.
Yes.
And she had to come up
From
with
my friend.
100,000 by the end of the week to save her stuff. So she's on the phone and crying, and I mean, it was a sad thing to see.
Yeah, boy.
But it's also like we wonder, like, who's recording these things? Why? I guess I'm glad for social media in a way, but we're in an era where everything had to be. I mean, bailiffs doing this every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you find somebody who have some kind of notoriety, fame, popularity, whatever you want to call it,
Yep.
all of a sudden, I guess being recorded and then getting traction because of who she is.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
it's
I,
like,
so much so the recording thing is beginning to be a bit sickening. I
mhm.
mean, there's only so much of that you can take, right? And only so much of that is relevant to the story.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It
You
had nothing
understand?
to do with nothing.
Nothing to do with nothing. Now this girl have a situation going on, and I read the story today, and she spoke about it. Just being bad decisions, essentially, lending people money, borrowing money, that kind of thing. If nothing else, is a caveat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Starting a business is no easy feat. No, there are some things you can do easily, but just overall being financially prudent and making the right decisions for your business is super important. To take the right advice when you get it, or to seek the right advice and seek help when you need it. And seeking help may not always be just looking for money, looking for the financial part of making money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but homegirl did what she had to do, and she said in the article, I think her last mistake was starting this business off in such a way that she wanted to do it big and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
brand
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
everything, that she put herself in such expense. And man, you see this doing this thing for the gram and doing this thing for, people, for what they think and what they want and
Yeah,
perception,
there's a short trap. There's
it
a
will
short trap in business.
always be a bad decision.
And listen, sometimes it's not just for like show. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to somebody about this just this week.
Mm-hmm.
When they teach me in school, like I study business, and when they were telling you about overheads and fixed costs and variable,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, pay attention to none of that. I just want to pass the course. But
Right.
I could tell you, like I learned, we learned the hard way over many.
Yeah.
It had plenty times in business where we could have been Yvee Clarke.
Yeah.
Plenty times. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
people understand. And the funny thing about it is when you start throwing out figures, they're like borrow 63,000 and you pay 100,000 by the end of the week. For the average person, it's a little bit hard to wrap your mind around.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when in the scheme of doing business, something $100,000, it don't be no money. That you would be shocked to know how fast you blow through hundreds of thousands of dollars. And
But
it's
you read her story where she also mentioned taking part of in one of
of course.
those new age financial schemes.
Yeah, yeah,
I refuse to call it the name they're calling it, right?
yeah.
Um,
Throwing a little thing in the DSS.
and she did say, I'm not foolish, I'm not stupid, but I took a chance,
I don't know
whatever.
why she say all that too, but I figure by the time she doing them thing, desperation starting to kick in.
Yep. Yep.
When you see, I saw like I was talking about Yellow Cow TV with Nadia Batson and Miss Alicia, and they
Yep.
had Barber Dev from South,
Yes.
and Dev is talking about he went in one, and then he went back in the next one to try and get back from everybody. Plenty of people fall into that, and that's
That's
the
true.
other thing too, because what you're saying is one of the reasons where, like, I've been through that over and over and over. It's happened when you're in business. Have a certain amount of debt, healthy too.
Yes.
But to be honest with you, let me deal with the bank. You know what I
Yes.
mean? I rather deal with the bank. And I'm not saying, I know sometimes it's hard for people who in business to, the bank is not the friendliest place for small business. I'm going to put it like that.
Agreed.
But
It's
boy,
not.
this is borrowing 63. Well, from the time I see the amount of money and think, my immediate assumption, I say I get that from a man. From the time I hear that, I say that is man thing. And that went sour. Whatever the pound of flesh was supposed to be paid was not paid. And the money was not paid. Because for that to you think about it, for things to reach court and all, that's plenty work,
Cautionary tale. Don't ask no man for nothing. I fella tell these kids this, but they don't listen.
Hey, well, don't listen to
They don't
Acacia.
listen.
Don't listen to
Stop
Acacia. If you need
asking man
things,
for things.
a man is the best
Go by the
person to
bank.
ask. Nah, don't ask the bank. You need a little
What?
start in life, ask a man. You know what I mean? That's the best
Look
place
here.
to get your thing. Most times it wouldn't end up in court and say, these things are settled behind closed double palm doors and so on. These things are settled. You know what I mean? Them loans writing off.
I will not have you. I will not. No. We shan't do this.
That man named Zandoli. Say he say the man of a song. He say he lending a man any amount of money, but he not lending no woman nothing. They're too bad pay.
They're
He say
too
so
bad
from
there.
now on, any woman he had to lend money is a pound of your flesh for security. You know what I mean? Collateral. I ain't get him wrong. I don't give him wrong.
It's a good thing I know this story, yeah. The pound of flesh.
Yeah, a
What
little pound
was
of
the name
flesh. A little pound. Merchants of Venice kind of business. A little pound of
Merchant
flesh.
of Venice,
Why
yeah.
not?
Good thing I know the damn story. Me neighbor with all in her, but pound of flesh.
She end up in court and all this kind of thing. A whole big scene.
That's all unfortunate.
It's sad. It's business hard. It's I know it, like I was telling somebody, I don't like talking about business on this podcast too much. Maybe I'll do some, like a couple episodes just to talk about our journey in business and how it went and them types of things. But Trinidad's small, and it's had to be careful what you say and who you're saying in business.
Absolutely.
It's funny. But
Absolutely.
you're right. Like you have to be real mindful.
You gotta be smart.
What
You have
you're
to be
doing
smart.
with money, how money coming in, where you're spending it on. Certainly not in susu. I mean, you'll take your business money and put in something so. it's like I wonder, like if even if it's $5,000, why not put that into some Instagram advertising, some Facebook thing? Do something that could cause, like, your business could make so much more money than any Susu or
Any
any
of
one of
it
them
that
things.
she could be doing.
Yeah,
But
but
you know what, Corey, this is one lesson for her as a young woman,
yeah, she
as a
young
young
too.
business person,
Mm-hmm.
and she just may come out on top eventually. I honestly hope that she isn't completely,
Yeah, destroyed.
jaded
Mm-hmm.
by this, that she somehow grows. I know it's not easy. I mean, she's braver than I am. Starting your own business is, to me, one of the scariest things because I, for one, I'm very afraid of failure.
Right.
And so I always want to win.
Mm-hmm.
And if failure is on my doorstep, man, I will be shooting bricks.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know. So I hope that she learns her lesson and she's able to move forward. I mean, you know what? When we talk about money and real money, $63,000, $100,000 is not no money,
No, it's really not.
right? And hopefully one day she looks back at this and laughs and
Well,
sees herself further than this.
I think she will, because, like, even more brave than starting a business is like being so open about what you went through here.
Yeah.
It wouldn't just help her, it would help plenty of people. And even like you saying, being worried about failure is more like, if I had to explain to anybody what it is, it's like you have to not see failure as negative.
Right. It's a
The
lesson.
failure gonna come, yeah, exactly. Like I mean, you spend a lot of money doing degrees and things. You pay to learn, and I don't
Yeah.
find business is any different from that. In business, you pay to learn, and it have
Yes.
plenty lessons. And I mean, both my father and I have plenty more ventures we start that fail than the ones
Hmm.
we in that succeed. You know what I mean?
Right.
And even success, it's so, like, we talk all the time about the success you're seeing today really had nothing to do with that we paid them dues yesterday.
Yeah.
And if we
Yeah. Yeah.
fail to pay the dues today, if you get some kind of success, whether it be financial or growth or new clients, if you sit down on that now, tomorrow you're gonna pay for that. You're gonna earn exactly what you put in is what you're gonna get out.
Yeah.
And I mean, I admire her for, well, like, I don't know where the thing had to be recorded. I mean, that is an embarrassing moment, real
Yeah.
life
Yeah.
comeback for thing. But
It
other
was.
than that,
It's.
she's so open
Uh,
about it. I think she will bounce back. Like, you remember the girl who did the cakes? Everybody laughed at the cake, and then all of a sudden she was doing her course
yeah.
and learning.
I found that to be really nice.
She's
I actually
vibes.
know somebody who gave her a little like helped out in terms of giving her a little money to help her with her brand and that kind of thing. And to me, those are the ways I think we need to deal with things. Now, it's very pie in the sky, I'll admit.
Right.
Expecting all of us to rally around somebody who made bad decisions about their business when in a year where, I mean, we have to
For sure.
all be cognizant of the fact that,
Mm-hmm.
listen, it has been a shitty year for most of us,
Yeah, well, the
especially
GoFundMe
financially.
reflected that, because how much a GoFundMe everybody will put money for. She said that technical difficulties. She got like about $35 in the GoFundMe. I
Yeah,
think
this
that was the
is,
technical difficulty itself. But you're right. Like, it's nobody else's responsibility but yours. If you invest in something, that is your business. But I mean, okay. When I went to Lockjack to do my masters,
hmm
it's the same 60 something $1,000 it cost me.
yep,
So if she have the mindset to say, all right, this is I pay to learn that, then that come like your MBA there.
yeah,
So when you come out of a business school and thing, you have money to pay back. If you had loans to thing, you don't have much.
yeah,
You're starting at an entry level job. You're figuring out things, and hopefully the lessons that you learn will get you more earning potential over time. So
correct.
hopefully she take it that way and she look at it like that, and
I hope
bounce
so
back.
too.
And if not, it have other men here go like near 63. These, I mean, come on.
Corey, you looking for a coffee in your neck and you realize it? What is
So
going
you
on?
look at Yvee. Somebody go get Yvee 63. Come on. That guy's shocked nobody can come up with
Yeah, she
100
cute.
yet.
She cute. She's a cute chick. She's a good looking little one.
100,
Like
a light little 100. I mean, come on. The hell is going on? But I saw to the like we talking about the videotape, and I saw the same thing with the Tobago. You saw the zest in Tobago.
I found a real
I don't
off,
understand.
but somebody was explaining to me they did it, I guess, for record, just to take all the information down so they'd be able to go, back to the office and record all the tickets that they have to deliver. Which
I'm
makes
sure.
sense
Yeah,
rather
but
than
then
somebody
why is
sitting down and
public?
writing. Yeah, so it makes sense to me, but uh, whoever released that, oh gosh, that's only people personal information. Really?
And how that, I mean, you're humiliating people. Right, somebody do the
Yeah.
wrong thing, the law have a thing where it have a penalty, a fine or whatever. You don't have to add
It's
humiliation on top of that,
it
man.
is always funny to me that the humiliation never goes to the people who are in a different
Oh, no, no, come on now. Come on. That ain't happening. Gary?
right.
And
I,
Gary in charge. Gary is his own litmus test. Is either lighter than Gary or you're darker than Gary? Is either you have money like Gary or you don't have money like Gary?
I want
As
to
far as I
say
can say.
something, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I beg your listeners not to crucify me, right?
Tell me.
But Gary wife not light skin though.
Gary have a wife?
Well, and so Lord, you know,
Have a wife or he had a
scrub that
wife?
from the record, take it off.
When they say Gary
I
have a wife, I don't understand. But you're right, yeah. She's that was Nicole Dyer, right? Nicole Dyer Griffith.
yeah,
Next
Nicole
Miss
Diane
World.
Griffith,
She was Miss World or something, right? Miss
Miss
Trinidad at
World and
least.
stuff as well, Miss Trinidad Tobago. Trinidad Tobago University, if I remember correctly. She was
Beautiful.
here with
Beautiful.
after Wendy. And
Ah.
no, that was here after Wendy, or that was
It would be
Danielle.
sometime close to that. You're right. She wasn't too far after
Yeah,
Wendy at all.
once. Yeah, I think Danielle. I don't remember. What's one of was Wendy, Nicole, and Danielle, I think.
Right.
But anyway, however it went. Um, yeah, she's no light skin chick. She's no any other ethnicity, but
Nah, but
African.
Yeah, but that's not. It does see, and I mean, to put everything on him as a commissioner of the police force. I see how much he complains and responds on social media and those types of things, but I feel it all had to land on him ultimately because his initial statement, which I had rated him for then when he was coming in,
Mm-hmm.
was that the first thing he looking at is the police force and weeding out rogue officers and them kind of thing. And I mean, sometimes when your officers do things, his statements about his own officers starting to get weaker and weaker and weaker.
Yeah,
Because he come out
yeah.
now and say, well, nobody should have released it and we had to look into it. And
Well, you
it's not
know who did
thousands of
it.
police raising. That's my point. It's not
You
thousands
know
of
who
people
did it.
raiding us there. So you know who.
Everybody on that exercise would have been suspended. That is how the lesson is learned.
Come on. Come on.
You can't. You will suspend. You will put a piece of investigation on and try to figure it out. And like you are not fooling anybody. If everyone is suspended, bet your bottom dollar that nonsense is not going to happen again.
Boy,
But
Acacia, let me tell you something. I see it in school at time. A dean named Mr. Joseph, God bless his soul, a Form 5 dean, right? We given
God
so
love
much
you.
trouble in school that he come and make a list of fellas.
Mm-hmm.
And he come and say, there are 3 Form 5s, right? So he say,
Yes.
I'm going to come. He call us in a meeting, all of us. And he say, hey, what's going on? I don't care who do what. I don't care who wasn't in school today, whatever it is. He said, when I come by this class and I say Corey Shepherd, if your name on this list, get up and come one time. He said, because if you don't come down in the office one time with Corey Shepherd, you're suspended from school for 5 days off the gate. And here now, that was it's one of the most genius things I ever see because we as little fellas in school, you don't sell out nobody. That's number one.
Yeah.
So I didn't see nothing, I didn't do nothing, I wasn't there, wherever it is.
Let's just get stitches.
But here now, for sure. So here now, when that man make we as a little group of fellas start turning against one another.
Yeah.
Because when all the way go, the minimum you're getting is 5 strokes. It doesn't matter. Sometimes I get strokes, me him find out what the man do, who he call. When all of us, about 12 are we going down, he get everybody 5 strokes, he say, oh, you go ahead, right, I'll deal with Corey now. And we don't even know what the hell went wrong. And we just know everybody in trouble wants that one man in trouble.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is facts. It's like, well, if Gary Griffith suspend, or I don't know what the punishments would be, but pull all of them up as a group. I bet you find, if you don't know who do it, I bet you start to find out who do everything.
Because technically that's police information. It's confidential information. It should not have been released to the public. It should not have been something going to people via WhatsApp and all these kinds of things. Like,
well, once that happens, you're guilty until you're proven innocent. Once the whole world see you, and you have to announce your name, take off your mask, and I agree with you. If there's an easier way to process people, then do that. But somebody had to be responsible enough. But you're right. Like you see it in certain types of venues and events and parties. And certain things people face don't get things, their name don't get called. I don't know how people expect to see the country as balanced and unbiased and all them kind of things. Them things, they reek like the DSS thing. You see it on camera, somebody stuffing money in their bosoms. And Gary Griffith's response to that is, that wasn't a police officer. That was a... And I thinking, dude, all you're responsible for the raid.
It doesn't matter.
Why would it matter if it's defense force? You pull up everybody who on that, whatever task force it is, or whoever dealing with the raid, pull them. Don't say, well, hey, it wasn't me, so I don't care.
Acted criminally. They stole what did not belong to them.
So the police, if I do that, the police coming for me.
The police should be, the police should be looking for their colleague and arresting him accordingly.
Well,
that is what should be happening.
Yeah, and you say colleague, but they ain't even studying no colleague, you know. Them just pull out themselves clean and they say it's not them. It's just the society.
Are you talking about something else? I'm getting me vexed.
All right, good. Who's going to guard the guards? You see all Amalgamated. How much you paying attention to Amalgamated?
Amalgamated and they sit, man. Listen to them.
Listen, it's about 5 of them come out now, you know. It's about 5 of them. One of them singing. I will find the audio and I'll put it in the episode. Because one of them singing. If you hear this man sing.
Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angel voices. Oh, night divine. Oh, night when Christ was born.
And I don't know, they're so proud of this Amalgamated uniform.
Nah, I don't know that one. The police Navidad, Prospero and Yvee, see that?
Somebody was singing that?
Nearly passed out today watching this thing. Listen to me. And bags of confidence, you know.
What do you mean?
Oodles and oodles of confidence. And I am out here like, sir, what is happening? What is going on? Listen to me. I ought to be that confident.
No, but I remember the last time we was talking, we was looking for a little fella for you, so...
Sir?
So...
First of all, none of those are little fellas, one. 2, no.
You're a little Amalgamated man in your life. Look how much problems you're solving in one. You ain't not to worry about no gun. You ain't not to worry about no pepper spray, nobody breaking in. You have security. You have love. You have serenading. You're doing it for the gram. All these problems solving one. What again are you looking for?
I'm trying to think of a song that would probably tell me if loving you is wrong.
What do you mean?
You know, I don't want to be right.
Man, go sing that for you.
No, thank you. I got
good little example for your son to follow and sing, man.
It's all right. My son is going to watch that man and laugh, and that's not going to be good for our home life.
Boy, listen, that man, he having a good time. He having a good time. I like to see that. I see people who, when they walk, he's supposed to be guarded somewhere. And you know, every video they make is in uniform. I like that.
Listen to me. There's one where the more rotund of the guy.
Yeah, I know.
is when I tell you confidence, it size up the camera. He stand up, he pose again, he fix his face, and I say, but bro,
I mean,
Who are you sending this videos for, sir?
for single women like you, I show you on
Not
Tinder.
not like me. Nope. I sure is not like me. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I rebuke that.
You
And
man,
whatever deity's name, I rebuke it. No
even
thanks.
like I watch Instagram. I need to come over Instagram because I see. You remember Wetman Kendrick?
You see Wetman get teeth? Listen to me. If that is not advertising for your dental business,
Them
sir, I
do
don't know what is.
real good.
Excellent job.
Them do real good.
Excellent job.
Boy,
You
they
know
put.
anything marketing related that day? And
What do you
I was
mean?
like, that to me, when we talking promotion and using people as you know,
It's in
markets for your
getting better
brand,
than that. It's in getting better than that. Whatever
man,
it costs him to do that man teeth. The thing is funny. The man
it
can't
is
talk with the teeth, you know. He catching the ass to say whatever it is you was trying to say.
so he was catching his ass all the time.
Yeah. What?
He'll figure it out. He was catching his ass to speak a long time. But
I really
see,
find I ain't see no little COVID and thing, ain't see no videos from Kendrick. Me, no Kendrick getting himself sorted out.
Henry getting his grill sorted. You understand?
Shame.
He getting his grill sorted and amalgamated out here. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't understand.
Yes,
They
but
need to take some example from Kenrick.
well, so Kendrick better than the amalgamated, and that's what he's saying. Kendrick have a chance.
Sir,
Kendrick have
Kenrick
a
has no
chance.
chance. With whom? May I ask? With whom?
Listen, you see, you single by choice. I don't want to hear you ever saying nothing about this. When your next season start back, I don't want to hear you talking nothing about no single dumb and all this. Can you single by choice?
Hopefully, I find a babe by then. We'll see what happens.
Kendrick, you notice when he fixes it, like he had
Sir,
nice eyes. What your eyes?
how you notice
I
eyes?
see your eyes. I say, but Kendrick
Sir,
had nice eyes and think, what the hell is going on?
I don't even. No. Mm-mm. You could imagine me with a man like Kenrick.
Listen, you have pretty eyes. Kendrick have pretty eyes. His pretty eye children.
Sure.
And
Okay.
listen, it's the teeth fixed. Ain't matter worry about that no more.
I not even going to say anything on the grounds that I may incriminate myself. I may say something
What's the dental people name? I'm going to call them and
mean.
find out if the grill removable. Because
It
imagine you
looked
get
like it could
Kendrick.
be platish. It looked like it could be platish. I don't think it's implants.
Well, better fat yet. You can imagine Kendrick. When he take out that plate.
Corey, you're going on a road that I feel like is kind of late at night, and I'm not going on this road with you.
Wet.
Right?
When he take off that plate, Acacia,
Ew!
say wet. You want nothing
Oh,
again?
God.
You missing.
Disgusting. You are disgusting. I
We
don't want to
just
hear
talk about
that.
missing your blessings earlier in this thing, you know. We just
No,
talk
no, no,
about
no,
not
no.
the thing. You had to
My
take your
blessings
blessing.
just fine. I am convinced my man is not a Trinidadian. I'm waiting for the next carnival. I'm gonna pick up a Yankee because I never.
It's a no carnival, but what about in the interim? You could just
I said
hold
the
out.
next one,
That's 5 years from
2022.
now. That's 5 years from now.
Nobody, again, I rebuke that in whatever deity's name. I don't even understand why you giving out all this negative energy. What
I
is going
vex
on
like
with you?
hell. I don't even want to listen. Now I'm sure we finish record because I
Stop it now.
can't talk about carnival. Carnival is making me sick. I can't believe February gonna come and we just gonna
Sir,
go to work. I see Jules and them, a whole squad. I see Jules, Dinaki, and where you wasn't in that meeting? Jules, Hoppy, Private
I
Ryan.
cannot comment on this area
Oh, you
due
can't
to my
comment.
affiliations, and I will leave it at that.
I say, but
That
where are all the female, where are all the women promoters? Where's Bobby? Where's Acacia? Where's Candice even?
we will probably,
Okay, all right,
in,
okay, you can't say
in
nothing
the
about this. Okay.
kitchen getting,
Oh God.
meals prepared. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows these days? Who knows? But you did see the fracas that ensued with regards to the same thing we were talking about, WhatsApp groups, right?
What was that
In
again?
that, apparently a little thing happened,
Mm-hmm.
where so it was said in whatever WhatsApp group, those guys shared a screenshot, of the guy saying, everybody jumping on this bandwagon because people did ask the question, which is relevant.
Right.
Okay, we have how many? 6 or 7 men standing up here
Mm-hmm.
grinning.
Mm-hmm.
But where are the women? Where are
Yeah.
the women stakeholders in Carnival?
Mm-hmm.
And somebody made mention that what people are jumping on the bandwagon. And at first, I was offended
Mm.
because violence against women is not a bandwagon. The need for education and fairness, wage gap, all the different things that apply to women are not bandwagons for people to jump on.
Oh,
But then
that is
I
what they mean
realized
by
that
bandwagon, like people
sometimes,
jumping on the no
yes,
woman thing. Okay.
that's what they mean. And
Mhm.
that's what they mean. But you know what, Corey? Who are these people to even talk to me?
Mm.
Right? I mean, why am I offended by anything they are saying when the fact of the matter is they just simply don't know, they don't understand, they don't have context. They are accustomed to treating women less than, they are
God.
accustomed to treating people like crap, and they're accustomed to treating our culture like crap. And so why do I care about their opinions or even, give any validation to anything they have to say? That is all I would say on the matter. I done, because again, I done. Shit.
He said no jump on no bandwagon. That's the moral of this story. But I mean, I
Yeah.
am not the best at that. When it comes to like things like inclusion, I learned some of them things the hard way.
Yeah,
Like
of
going back
course.
to business, we have a board of directors who is it's relatively balanced. I think it's 5 of us, 2 women, 3 men.
Right.
But I would not. Let's say that was more coincidence of that coming together, or my father wisdom, one of the
Right.
two. Because
Right.
what we were
Than
looking for was
a affirmative
no. I don't think it was
decision.
no. It wasn't like we were looking for balance, right? So
Okay.
one of them is his wife. She's a director of the company, and the
Right.
other one is our
Okay.
attorney.
Okay.
And we needed our attorney, a financial person, and then 3 of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the more we meet, is the more I value, because I could only have the viewpoint of a dude. That's who I am.
Yeah.
And a very, very flawed fella too. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
all I have is my experiences and my viewpoint.
Yeah.
So I understand why we need a board and I need
Mm-hmm.
meetings and people to help with decisions. But I
Yeah.
would not pay much attention to the fact that if everybody thinks like me, I'm not getting much value at all from being in a group.
Yes. Yes.
But when it comes to decision, because a lot of our business is people,
Yes.
and I will present this, say, all right, this is the plan, this is what I'm going to do. This. When I say them, I'm pretty sure that this, when I say that, it's still rubber stamp and act dread.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
like, I just get some questions in that, but that thing has stopped me dead in my tracks. And it's not to say
Mm-hmm.
that I have any ill intent towards people. I'm matter of fact when it comes to decision making and thing for business.
Right.
But when I ask certain questions and people say, well, did you consider this? I was like, shit.
Yeah.
It puts me right back to like, hey, you can't do this. This don't make sense at all. And
Mm-hmm.
I get in the mode where I'm like, thank God there has somebody here to
To
stop me.
watch me, to help me, not
It's
do
help, it's help, it's
business.
help. It's not
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
threat in any way. It's not and like grateful enough that as headstrong as I might be when I'm ready, I recognize when I'm going down the wrong road.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
Yeah.
matter to me who give me the advice or where it come from. I try my best not to pay
Yeah.
attention to who's saying something to me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw the photo, I didn't think much. My first reaction is, all right, we're getting something for the carnival. Something gonna happen. But a friend of mine, I saw in the comments on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, I think, saying, hey, y'all, you forget carnival is woman.
Where the women?
Well, even then when I saw it, I was like, okay, well, what are they talking about? And then when I look at the picture, I was like, okay, this really kind of
It doesn't
odd.
represent. It doesn't represent. But it doesn't.
Yeah, breathe.
I'm trying to be diplomatic as possible, right? But it also doesn't even represent the current stakeholders in any real way. We
No,
talking
it
about the
wouldn't. It wouldn't.
part of carnival, which is not the whole part of carnival.
For sure.
It isn't, and there's so much more to our festival. And what really, I think, the education that has to happen. I wish it's something that I could do on my own, but it requires so much work, right? And I definitely can't do it myself.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm going to challenge myself. 2021 is the year that I'm going to make that move,
Yeah,
right? It's
start it,
something that
man.
I've been
People will
wanting to
follow.
do
Treat
for
it
a
just like the
while.
podcast. Once you start it, people will follow.
Yeah, right. Which, I mean, honestly, it was the impetus for the podcast,
Gotcha.
which is why I would have started with the episodes with Rhoda and that kind
Right.
of
I
thing,
remember that, yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things we need to do It's to continue to educate our people in such a way that we remember who we are. And if we continue along this whole context of, it's just a party scene, what is going to happen is when we lose the essence of what this thing really is, then we can't blame people for continuing to pirate and, use the culture for monetary gain. Everybody wants to make money. Everybody want to do business. Everybody wants to do what they have to do. And I'm not criticizing people for doing that because you know what? I had to make money too.
Sure.
Right? But at the same time, my culture means a lot to me. And it can't be that all you see in my culture is dollar signs. And you can't be here pretending to care about it to make your money. Because you know what? We know you don't care. We know you don't care. We all know who cares and who doesn't care.
Yeah, I don't even think like people pretending anymore. Like people saying exactly what it is.
They're not pretending. I you know what? I watch people. I see the people who go to Candle every year.
Right.
I see the people who make sure to be part of the ritual, whether it's for Old Mass, whether it's for, extempo finals, all these different things. You see people who care to be part of the ritual, and you see people who exploit it. And I mean, exploitation is not necessarily always a bad thing. The reality is again, money made to make and to spend. But at the same time, it's more than this.
Well, boy, I mean, you're talking to the right person. Those are, you know where I stand on this. So my angle has always been like, I myself, I have a good friend, and I've still talking to girl Simone. She does a lot of tours in and out of Carnival. It's not really built around Carnival. She's a librarian and historian. So she does Brasso Seco Christmas time and down the islands, and very, very rich tours about our culture. I always reaching and can't reach, right? But I see the effort she making to do what she doing. And she's the first person who tell me, come stick fighting and come Cambule riots and thing. Up to now, I reach. But I understand what you mean fully. So my angle is always Calypso. Because of what Calypso mean to me.
Right.
And is a tricky one for me, because I have a few promoters that I had reached out to, including people who in our photo, to talk about, to come on the podcast to talk about the no carnival. And my gripe is less so with the promoters or anybody really than the stance the government took initially, where all the gate is no carnival. Because I can't understand like what stops, if CPL could happen in a bubble, why we can't have Calypso Monarch and Soca Monarch and Extempo and Pan.
Correct, because Carnival is not just
King
the parade of the bands.
Well, here now, in this country, you see money talks. And Extempo and them things could walk. So them things is pain me deeply because, all right, they have, when they first announced it, I was talking about the year when Kitchener did Reno Ramo. There's a whole story that I can't understand for the life of me why every child wouldn't learn these things in school, but the story was about a polio outbreak. And the carnival having to be postponed to May, and then it's rainy season and rainfall, and so he take that the year after the polio outbreak and the late mass. That Reno Ramos song singing a regular carnival, that was Carnival Monday and Tuesday and Ash Wednesday. He sang about it the year before. He sang about the year before. And take that and that's what I mean, his house named after that song. So it's not like if we don't have a blueprint for what happens if we have a major issue, there's a world problem or a national problem that people can't congregate. This is evidenced. It did. And the Trinidad is a place can't escape itself, because some years after the Mass in May song, a fella named David Rudder come and win Calypso Monarch and win Road March and things singing, who was affected by the same polio outbreak. Like, we can't escape ourselves. It's not, we can't hide from it. So
But it's
when
who want to see though, Corey.
but
It's
it's,
who
that's
wants to
facts.
see.
But that's what I mean when I say, see, this country, it have a way that, you see, money
Mm-hmm.
it's the equivalent to me of selling your soul, if I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can't. I always try. One of the questions I want to ask promoters, right? And they have different types of promoters in Carnival, but FET promoters in particular, I try to figure out why, when you book an artist,
Mm-hmm.
if you have an established artist who have hits all the time, how come that artist can't see his way in a year where he don't have a monster hit? Like, let me use Benjai as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Carnival is better when Benjai have a song. The carnival better when you see Benjai sing Leave Me, Let
Yeah.
Me Do It. The whole carnival better. Carnival
I
can't
hear
be
you.
four artists alone who in a
Yeah.
different stratosphere. And then everybody has a scrap to figure
Yeah.
out who have the biggest song of the year, whether you're known, unknown, you could perform, you can't perform,
Correct.
so that the
You
event
can
started to be about
you can
you
make
as
a
the
dollar.
promoter. That is right.
Yeah.
The event started to be about you as a promoter. So in other words,
Mm-hmm.
I come into your fete. Whoever I see, because you don't care who you put there. You put in who giving you the best prices.
Yes.
But so what will happen to the art form?
There's no care for the art form because we don't respect it. We still looking for validation from everybody else. We still talking about, Soga have to win a Grammy and whatever. Quite frankly, I could give a rat's ass about Grammys. They don't understand our music. They don't understand us. And the more we
Grammys don't
accept
understand their
ourselves,
own music, Acacia.
precisely,
So how they go understand what
precisely.
music to me? And I hear you and Rhoda talk about this, and them things bring tears to my eyes. When she started to describe the meaning of songs, or the
Yeah,
meaning of whining and them kind of thing, is like,
the sun.
we ain't come from nowhere. No, we didn't just appear here
Exactly,
and knock two bottle and make our music come out
exactly.
of
Make a jingle.
excruciating pain.
But not just that, Corey, and I keep saying this, and I want people to understand, right? Anybody that's listening, understand that carnival and soca music, it is literally, quite literally, a genetic representation of our heritage,
It's
of our
fact.
past.
It's fact.
And it's something that we thought we lost. This narrative of slavery robbing us of everything is one thing, but it is not the complete truth. Because the reality is, carnival and soca music, it is almost identical. It is a mirror of what our ancestors did before slavery.
Mm.
The masquerade, mask, the music, the rhythm, the tempo, the way our bodies move. These things are not new.
Mhm.
They are nuanced. They are
Of course.
things that are learned through our genes. We didn't have to go back to Africa to learn these things. We didn't need people to come from Africa after 400 years of slavery and come and say, hey, this is what we do back home. You can do this now. We already knew it.
Yeah,
And
it's
we
in your genes.
made,
There's no way to
yeah,
escape it. You cannot escape it.
correct. We made what we had to make simply because it was already there, right? It already there, it already happening. Think about it this way. I'm sure there are things about you um, that are so unlike your father, even though he may not have specifically taught them to you.
Yeah, yeah.
You understand? That's just what it is. It's genetic. It is something embedded in us, right? And that is something special. It's something amazing. And we keep cheapening it. We keep thinking, oh my gosh, we're watching everybody, and maybe that in itself is a self fulfilling prophecy in that we keep somehow cheapening what we do and what we are and looking at others and trying to copy them. But to be quite honest, African people and people of the African diaspora, we all seem to be grappling towards getting to know what was lost or what we think was lost, right? African Americans have one way they do things. Trinidadians have one way they do things. I mean, I am a lover of Trinidad and Tobago soca. Nobody can tell me nothing about Trinidad and Tobago soca. But you see, Denry soca,
Mm.
Denry's a vibe.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
go to Lucia, you want to lose your mind to that music. You hear that music,
It's
your
in
body
here. It's
starts
in
to
here.
move.
What you say is
You understand?
exactly the truth. It's generational. So as a little fellow, I remember
Mm-hmm.
being 5 years old.
Yeah.
Was the first time I heard dancehall music. I talk
Mm-hmm.
about it all the
Mm-hmm.
time. I felt him Edison Carr, who teach all kind of people to talk with accent on
Yeah.
the radio, coincidentally. But he used to come on the radio on a Saturday morning, and he was the only person who would have put on a little dancehall song. And he used
Right.
to play a song named Walking Machine, they call me Walking Machine, ding, ding, ding. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I am Constable Brown, they call me Boy Blue. Think of this, right?
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about Jamaica, never went. I
Yeah.
hated reggae music. I had a cousin, Wade Shepherd, and boy, he's part of Kyrie people too. He's one of the people I'll talk to.
Yeah.
But he used to play Bob Marley all the time. I hated that slow, dreary kind of music. But something wake up in me when I hear that dancehall.
Yeah.
And I mean, talk to anybody who understand ancestry and think a big part of it is the drums and the bass.
Yes.
A
Yes.
big part of it is the rhythm. So fast forward to today, where I grew up in a house where, like I say parang a lot, right? But I never really grew up around too much parang. I grew up a lot around old time kaiso.
Right.
Playing in Christmas season, and it's a guitar and quattro and a maracan thing, and our uncle who might sing Spanish and them thing, but within the Spanish, them fellas were singing heavy kaiso and calypso and thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like, to talk about ancestry, like you talking about parents, right? My father was playing in Song Revolution. He used to play for Kitchener Tent, playing guitar and thing as a young fellow. When I was born, he was already doing that. And he
Right.
never introduced me to calypso. It's my mother carried me in calypso tent. I grew up with my mother. I ain't seen my father as
Yeah.
often then. So she carried me tent every single year. We used to go in the tent. Spectacular tent, and I think it was reviewed on Ricin Road.
Mm-hmm.
And then he never teach me to play quattro either. I learned to play music from his brother. His brothers play quattro, he's play guitar. I mean, he could play quattro too, but it reached to the point now when two of us playing, when we record each other playing a little jam session or we play a gig and thing, two of us is sit down and try to listen, and I cannot distinguish the quattro
Between
from
you
the
and your
guitar.
dad.
No, it can't hear it. I'm trying to figure out, well, what you playing and what I playing.
Yeah.
That is not nothing that taught. That is generations. That is you're born so. So for us to and that's where for me with the calypso is always be hard for me with what happened with Carnival, because we make it into a microwave thing.
Yeah.
Artists not allowed to develop into anything, not allowed to, you know what I mean? You either have a big hit or you starve.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's a hard one for me.
I hate the seasonal aspect of soca music. It really
It's too difficult. It's kill artists.
Yeah, it does.
It kill artists and it kill artistry. So you know Omari Ashby.
Yes.
Omari posting these things every day now. And he's using all genres of music. It's not just calypso, but every morning he's saying, "Hey, the phrase for the day or the thing for the days." And he put one with Zandoli the other day, one of my favorite calypsonians. And I was telling him, I said, Omari, you know what's one thing about Zandoli? He don't waste a word in a song. He tell a story from the beginning of the song down to the last word in the song.
Right.
But nobody's allowed to do that anymore. If you try to do that, you cannot get a hit. You're dead.
Yeah.
Because the radio station and thing is deciding what's hits.
Yeah,
the promoters deciding who gonna be big and who gonna be non-existent.
Yeah.
But
you have a formula. It has to be a particular type of way. This is the song. It's just how it's supposed to sound. And one or two songs would break through of that every year. But rarely ever
it
somebody
has some songs you
is
can't
going to get a
deny.
repeat. Yeah, going to get a repeat. You know?
It's like going back to Nadia Batson again. When you look at the way she writes her songs, and you go back to what Rhoda was talking about, you could see that she understands the culture thoroughly.
Yes.
And a lot of them do. A lot of them youths do.
We don't even appreciate the longevity and the staying power of certain songs, like Nadia Batson's music.
It will be here forever.
I absolutely love. And there are things you don't hear at all. Nadia did a song, Your Caribbean Girl. I don't know if you know that one.
That was a big song. Well, I guess
she has one called My Pussy. The energy in that song. I am not a driver when that song is playing. I will hit somebody's car. No, it's going to happen. Like I
No,
am
but
not
that
the
is
driver. That
when you
song is
that
for you.
feeling you're getting there is exactly what you said before because it's generational.
Yeah,
That song come through your blood.
it invokes something
Of
in you.
course, you
And
can't deny it. You can't deny
a
it.
lot of time we get a little scared when we talk about spiritualism and that kind of thing when it comes to African religions and that kind of thing. I get the fear completely. I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
But shit is real, man, and we have to pay attention to it. I just want to make a point to dancehall.
Mm-hmm.
No, I never liked dancehall. More so because I grew up. I remember my dad saying he doesn't want me to listen to that. I remember going to the mosque that day we went to Maxi
Mm-hmm.
and heading to the mosque and I remember watching a woman in the front of Maxi moving ahead to the music and this thing ting a ling a ling school
Yeah.
bells was playing, right?
Mhm.
And she was like, no 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 no, don't sing that song. And okay, so I then had this thing where I didn't like dancehall. I don't like dancehall. Even now, yeah, some dancehall songs I don't care for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And do I have to do some unlearning where that is concerned,
Right.
right? But you ever catch how Jamaicans have a way that they must dance and they must dance together in their
Yeah.
music?
That car, they could now invent that. I hear
It's
100%.
yeah, it's had no homo stupid comment when it comes to them dancing as much as and I find Jamaican culture, especially when it comes to, LGBT type settings, they have a very toxic kind of culture there,
Yeah.
they don't no what batty man, no this, no that, no the other.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to their brotherhood, when it comes to their dancing, the music and that kind of stuff,
Yeah, none of that.
them
None of that.
fellas flinging with their shoulder and stuff
Yeah, for sure.
together,
Thing I
and
will
there's
never do.
no
They'll never see me doing them
yeah,
thing, you know.
there's no worry about them being
Yeah.
close or anything like that. There's none of that, and it's so funny
Yeah.
how their culture perpetuates one thing while do it so excellently in the other, because that togetherness that you get in dancehall music you don't get in soca.
Well,
Our music gives us togetherness for all the people, but it doesn't. To me, dancehall has a way where it encourages men to move together. It's like a battle cry or like a battle. I don't know. It's like they go into war.
mm-hmm.
That's how it feels to me. Dancehall always feels like aggressive music to me, and it also always feels like they go into war, but in unison. Um, Man, it's just a lot to explain, and I don't even think we had the time now. So
Yeah. I mean, as you say that, I see some of it myself. And one of the things where unity, there's another thing I struggle with soca music.
mm-hmm,
Because to reach one of the top four artists as
mm-hmm,
a younger, less established artist or up and comer or somebody who in school who have a vibes, right?
right,
Is almost impossible.
yeah,
You have to either be a prolific writer
yes,
like Nadia and them or Urfanal's voice. So
fun, yeah,
they, had to be
mm-hmm,
they are prolific.
absolutely,
So they can't be denied. Or you have to have a real big song and you could perform and so you come almost as a finished product. As
yeah,
close to a finished product. So in other words, the top tier artist is not taking a chance by putting it on stage, right?
mm-hmm,
I remember Bungie bringing Patrice Roberts on stage the first time.
yeah,
I was there the first time she went on stage and it was not great as a performance.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
But she gave
mm-hmm.
everything she have.
Yeah,
That girl was born to do that and she could not be
yeah.
denied.
I
She was just to do
remember.
this foot kick thing is the weirdest thing. I
Yes.
was like, why are you kicking up in the air? What's going on? But it's like the energy and you get the chance and she
Coming
hold on
out.
to her chance with two hands. But for
Yes.
every Patrice Roberts that they have about 50 artists
Yes.
who get a chance and then get by the wayside. So
That's right.
in Jamaica now, if you want to go now, the first thing is like what we see here as shows, like when you come to see Bounty Killer, Beanie Man, Popcorn, whoever, Cartel, you get a full show.
Right.
In Jamaica, it don't really be like that. Like when I saw they release Buju and they do a show there, what Buju do there is like what he's doing in Trinidad, but a normal Buju performance is not like that in Jamaica.
Really?
They just come and they mostly do the current songs and they come, because in dancehall, when you go in a dancehall, like they used to have a thing I used to go named Bembe Thursdays. And
Right.
the two main people was Foota Hype. Foota Hype was the main man, and maybe Tony Mataran and Mopasho as DJs, not singing or nothing.
Right.
And when artists come there, them coming to sing the new song or a couple
Yeah.
of the current songs were done big already, current, not really go back in the archives like what we do. But another thing you'll find is that when Bounty Killer come, he have, at the time, would have Mavado with him. He would, you understand that there's two girls named A and G, and next fella named, he now leave Bounty Killer too. He say he go and bust on you. And can't remember the fella name, but they always walk with artists. When you see Beanie Man, Beanie Man only used to walk with his brother everywhere he go.
Yeah.
But he have a few artists, them he just hand a man a mic. And if he song good, is a few things happening. The artist willing to take the chance, but the crowd also patient enough to know it's somebody new.
To listen, yeah.
Yeah, so you try him. If you think not to say you ain't go get boo or you ain't go get thing, but most times if you come and you have a little vibes, the crowd will get you a little strength. And most times, if you're real bad, they will clap you off and not boo you off. So that even the crowd conscious and not breaking your spirit. And when you go big shows like Champion and Action and Sting and them thing, the artists who you really come to see as a foreigner, the artists I come there to see, I not see until 9-10 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I there since 9-10 the night. You're going to see real smaller artists come through. And in that, you're going to find real talent. Real talent. So when you look at somebody like Coffee, who's a school girl, who have her vibes.
She does.
But Protege and now she's huge. I remember being in Jamaica when they first started talking about Chronics. I was there. I leave Jamaica in 2009 and look at where Chronics is now. And they were talking about Chronics and this youth, and he had some little song and thing, but nothing that when I come back to that, nobody don't know who's no Chronics. But he already playing and dancehall and thing over there. So I mean, yeah, you're right. This that whole next podcast we're gonna do talking about that. But going back to that promotion thing is like we have to separate. Culture is culture and business is business, and there's plenty overlap and there's plenty ways to make money out of the culture. I think more people need to figure out how to make money. But the preservation of culture shouldn't be driven by profits only.
Well, it's all marketing. It's all what the perception is, and also our own issues with what is perceived to be good and better and best. So we also have a lot of unlearning to do and a lot of learning to do. A lot of appreciation of our culture, of our music, and we just need people who down for the radio.
Well, the good thing, Acacia, is we have a platform. We do a damn good job in the last couple of months building a platform for ourselves. So like find the people and get them the space to do what they're doing. Yes, so we have no carnival. We have nothing better to do, and
we have nothing better to do.
All we could do just create your own little talk tent over the next few months, yes, and bring people to express what they do overall.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And you know what? I'm game.
All right, good. It sounds.
I am game.
Well, listen, you know, if I go, I'm going to keep you here forever, so I'm going to let you go. Thanks a million. I'm going to try my best to not let you take a rest at all this holidays. I'm going to try to keep you recording for the whole time. Yeah, man.
Man, I do have some plans to record and that kind of stuff anyway, because I've had a few people who have been asking to do different things. I have some talks on colorism and all those things that have to happen. My journey, I guess, with Empathy Jamat and that kind of thing. So there's some things that I want to talk about that I have to plan out appropriately for next year. And so the work is going to continue. It's not going to stop. It's just I'm not going to release the content till next year.
Good.
And going to get it all done. But I really appreciate being here today and not having to just talk about boys.
Yeah, sometimes we talk about more boy, but we get to talk about Wetman Kenrick. So that was good.
Boy.
You're in. Don't worry, I go
make
it talk. You see how you're going and take a little break here? I go talk to Wetman. We're going to make something happen for the first episode of the next season.
Please go to bed. You have a great night.
Same to you. Thank you very much. And everybody check out Acacia's podcast and Acacia Victory Lab, available everywhere podcasts available. And we're looking forward to those episodes next year. We're looking forward to when you start back next year.
Yeah, man. Right. I will keep you posted. I promise.
Beautiful. All right. We'll talk soon.
All right. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, so that's that. No. Outside of that, I really didn't realize how close it was to Christmas. Now somebody now telling me next week Friday is Christmas. This is problems. I have nothing in place. I've planned nothing. There's a real nothing Christmas coming up. But I want to look forward to an episode I'll do it. Will release on Friday with Neo Lazamo. Checking back in with her to talk about Christmas spirits and Christmas times and how some of us feel so upful and joyful Christmas time, but some people is a sad time for them. So we want to talk about what that is like, how we should treat with them, and really just how we navigate these holidays. Like, I underestimate myself. I always feel Christmas is the happiest time, but they have some parts of the Christmas that I really don't like too much. So look forward to that episode on Friday, and we do some special things next week too. So talk to you guys next week. Bye.